This is the moment of truth. Welcome back to the Chesscraft International Tournament, Round 6, and this is the last round before the semi-finale where 8 contestants have to fight against each other on this board created by SamG007 called Honey Rush. The board itself is not complicated, but the pieces don't act as they look, and that's tricky. Let me explain. On this board, the only universal pieces are the pawns, the king, and the 2 bears which move and attack like a knight and a giraffe, very strong. You have a bishop switch that can change its color by sliding up 1 square and a rook that can't castle. The bomber doesn't move but attacks diagonally by shooting cannonballs and can castle. The snake just moves like a queen by 2 and freezes enemy pieces. Finally, the honey bowl is a very particular piece as it acts like a bear but only sideways forward. This special pawn is the only one that can promote to a bear on the 7th rank, while the pawns promote to all the other pieces on the 8th rank. Don't worry if you actually feel totally lost about the pieces, because this is actually what happened at the first game of this round opposing Maria Kawai against Ancient Space Aliens. Here Maria completely discovered the board during the match. Bruh. C5, F5, F4, Honey Bowl C to F7, D5, the Almighty Explorer opening, and D6, the Latvian defense. The best would be to capture, but Maria played C6, which is losing after pawn captures and pawn recaptures. Honey Bowl recaptures isn't played, instead A6. There were several ways to defend the C-pawn, but Maria found the worst one with B5, because it just doesn't work. Apparently the pieces pattern were not clear because she blundered a whole bear out of nowhere. So Honey Bowl to B3, letting the pawn die. We have then Honey Bowl to D4, kicking the bear, but it allowed black to perform a forced bear trade with check with a nice pawn outpost. So Honey Bowl to B3, attacking the pawn, D5 defending, bishop switch to B4 pinning the pawn, bear to D7 unpinning, king to E2 avoiding any future check, but black found E5, challenging the structure. Maria found a pretty good defense with F5 because after pawn captures and Honey Bowl recaptures, the structures stays safe. Bishop switch to F8 trying to trade, but Maria refused by sliding up, pinning the Honey Bowl. After Honey Bowl to F7 defending, Maria played A4, which is completely losing, because of the terrible snake to A8, and suddenly white's bishop switch is about to get frozen and has no escape square. Maria tried Honey Bowl to A3, freeing the rook, but snake to A6 is already too late. Snake to D3 trying to counter-attack, but black found the killing Honey Bowl to E7. This defends the structure, allows the F Honey Bowl to go for the bishop switch, and gives space for a rook offensive. Maria, seeing that she was unable to defend anymore, then decided to resign here, on move 19. That's a sad way to quit the tournament. The second game of this round opposed Nitsons against A1HQ2C. You're now about to see why this board is very complicated to deal with. C5, D6, D4, F5, F4, A5, A4, the double horn opening. We have B6 attacking the center, C6 avoiding the trade, and Honey Bowl E to B7 insisting for a trade. White played D5, but this is a mistake because of the bomber. So Honey Bowl to C3, clearing the way for the bomber, and black's bomber snaps the pawn on A4. White is now down 2 pawns on move 8, very tough. Honey Bowl C to D3, opening the way for the snake, E6 challenging the center, pawn captures, Honey Bowl recaptures, and before trying to challenge on the flank, but black refused, so we have E4 challenging on the other side, but here black accepted. White captured back with the bear, which is not the best move as D5 kicks it immediately back. C5 challenging the center, pawn captures, Honey Bowl recaptures, not so far for promotion. Honey Bowl to A3, Honey Bowl B to E7, and the 2 bombers get set. This is now time for the snake to enter in the game, as white lost his last pawn, being down 3 pawns. Snake to C4 paralyzing the center, bear F to D7 attacking the snake, snake to D4 still paralyzing, bear to C7 again attacking the snake. But here white refused to move again the snake as he is protected, and played Honey Bowl takes A4 gaining back a pawn. but black decided to sacrifice his bear and then recapture back. The position is now weirdly unbalanced and the field completely open. Honey bowl to e3, honey bowl to b7, honey bowl to b5, and here black decided to trade back his last bear, to control a promotion square. Fortunately the bomber is still here to defend, so this is why black decided to completely blunder with king to e2, allowing the honey bowl to promote and then lose a bear for nothing. White seemed really affected by this because he managed to blunder 2 more pieces including a bomber. But he tried to counter-attack with rook to d1 check, and bishop switch to f2. Here this is black which completely blundered his bishop switch, but now comes honey bowl to f7, giving some space for the rook and especially the snake. White tried to resist as he could, but he was hopeless against the snake and got quickly destroyed. The end could be faster, but black decided to end the game romantically with a nice sacrifice. Okay, let's move now to the next game which opposed his Pride against Cargill. Both players are known to destroy each other's positions quickly. The game will be very tense. Bear to e4, bear to e6, d5, f5, pawn captures, f5, d5, c4, c6. The connect 4 opening. Pawn captures, pawn recaptures, and bear to c3 attacking. Black defended with bear to b6, but white immediately decided to exchange the bears, and this at the end of move 8 that all the bears are gone. Honey bowl to c3 opening the way for the bomber, d5 testing if the bomber still works, honey bowl to c7, honey bowl to f4 attacking the pawn, honey bowl to f6 defending, a5 opening on the flank, honey bowl d to h7, before consolidating. Honey bowl to d6 attacking the pawn, and his star pride has now way to defend it, so honey bowl c to a3 freeing the rook and the snake. Honey bowl captures and snake to d3, and this is where it's gonna get spicy. Honey bowl to a7 opening the same way, but instead of trading the rooks, white preferred to play honey bowl to d3, so black exchanged the rooks and played honey bowl to d7, with a nice winning trade tactic. Pawn captures, bomber captures, honey bowl b to d4 attacking, honey bowl captures, pawn recaptures, and finally bomber captures, and black is now up a pawn. But white is not impressed as his snake is better placed. Snake to f3 going for the honey bowl, b6 trying to counterattack, snake to f5, honey bowl to c6 with a nice fork. Snake to e6, pawn captures, pawn recaptures, and honey bowl recaptures, and black is up 2 pawns. But white is still not impressed as snake to f7 threats the whole king side, but bishop switch to c7 is played. White here played honey bowl to e3, preventing the bishop switch to check, but black played the intimidating snake to c8, which is a pretty good defense where you have to play accurately to win, but not a big deal. His seemed to panic and played snake to e8, which is totally losing, because the snake is now paralyzed and is about to be captured soon by the bishop switch. We have then honey bowl to b4, bishop switch to c6, honey bowl captures intermezzo, honey bowl recaptures, bishop switch captures, bishop switch captures, bishop switch captures, and king recaptures, and black is now up a pawn and a bishop switch. So the fight for promotion begins. King to d2, honey bowl to b4, d5, bishop switch to f7, and instead of honey bowl to d4, white played king to c3, totally blundering. Honey bowl to b4, but this is too late as black has a forced combination to end the game really quickly. But Cargill wanted to take his time to take white's last pieces and enjoy the final moments of promotion while his pride is struggling. Okay, so we're now left with the last game, which opposed Sky History against Martialist. This is a very beautiful and tactical game which has been played here. Let's go. c4, c5, b4, d6, d4, b6, the hammer opening. Bear a to d3 adding an attacker, but black seemed not worried about the position and played e6. Snake to a2, honey bowl e to b7, and finally pawn captures and pawn recaptures. Here Sky History decided not to fully open the center and played snake to b3 preparing a good attack, so black answered with honey bowl c to e7 opening the way for the rook and the snake. So white decided to clarify the center with d5, and after pawn captures, pawn recaptures, honey bowl to d7, e4, f6, f5, and honey bowl to f7, we enter the mid-game. Honey bowl b to e3 attacking the pawn, snake to c8 preparing an attack, honey bowl to c4 blocking the pawn, a5 grabbing space, rook to b1 preparing a discover attack, honey bowl e to b6 defending, bear f to c1 replacing, and black blundered a honey bowl. So honey bowl to a6, bear c to a2 preparing an attack, bishop switch to b6 defending the position, honey bowl d to f3 attacking the pawn, but black ignored the threat with snake to d7, so honey bowl captures. King to c8, snake to c4, and rook to e9, and suddenly, black's last 5 moves make now sense. We have bear to f2 defending, but this is a little late as black is now ready to deliver a strong attack. Snake to e6 controlling the king side, snake to b4 preparing a discover attack with the bomber, and Martialist decided to go YOLO by capturing with the bishop switch, letting it paralyzed. So bear a to c1 immediately going for it, honey bowl to c6 defending, honey bowl to b3 also going for it, but suddenly comes bear f to c7 attacking the snake. So snake to c4 blocking its own bomber, and the bishop switch takes a chance to trade itself. But it's not over as bear to c7 also attacks the snake, so snake to c3 attacking again the honey bowl, but here comes honey bowl captures, pawn captures, and the disgusting c4, threatening a bear sneak that the snake can't even defend because of the other bear. So bear c to d3 trying to defend, but snake to f7 discover check is played, and after king to d2, honey bowl captures sets a lot of threats. But white is not done yet because he found the nice bear to c6 forking the snake and the honey bowl and grabbing space. But Martialist punished this move with bear to c5 check, then snake to d7 paralyzing the bear, and now white is completely losing. White tried to capture the pawn with the bomber to scare black with his snake, but Martialist didn't even pay attention and play the crushing move bear takes d5. And look at this position. The snake is completely trapped and has almost nowhere to go. White bear is gonna be captured really soon, and black completely controls white's field thanks to his precious pieces. So this is in this position on move 33 that Sky History resigned the game and got eliminated from the tournament. So this is the end of this round 6 of the Chesscraft International Tournament. I hope you enjoyed it. We're now left with the semi-finale, and god, this is gonna be exciting as hell. Let me just show you a short teaser.